Sange Shindo Mite Bulwadi Tokunamba Shila Juba Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniya Dayami is the clear and aware nature of the conventional mind included in the developing Buddha nature. Kunzobe sem session repachira. Di gengu riki kunst togur vesa. Session repasem de.
Sanje kutu. Kunzobe sem sena.
Kunzobe sem session repachira. Di gengu riki kunst togur vesa.
Kunzobe sem sashi repatela minra ya boy minra mamboy ares.
The clear and aware nature of the conventional mind has many aspects to it, many types to it. That which is, it could be also something that which is. Because if it is a mind, all minds are conventional minds. So, given that category, then you have, those conventional minds that are in the nature of a delusion, that are to, that are minds that are to be abandoned. All conventional minds that have the potential to transform or develop into the Buddha body, then those are categorized as, the developing Buddha natures. Is the ultimate nature of the mind just emptiness or empty and clarity? Singiranshin thought about the Tongyi Kona Shana Digreya Tongbata Sewa Nicha Shauresa. Singiranshin thought about
Singiranshin Tony Quarare, Tony Quararesana, Dashi Magueva, the Sawa Siguarimando.
So, the ultimate nature of the mind is just emptiness. What is emptiness? Is the emptiness is that natural purity. The emptiness refers to that nature of being naturally pure, and it is clear. It is also clarity. How has the existence of Buddhism been established by reason? How has the existence been established by reason? Whose question? Sangye yoba di sangye yobe the gyumse kare shayo resa sangye yobe gyumse.
Sangye yobe gyumse tak kasang anzo chawana je chene ranju ki chima serum chima seba yoba inza sangye.
Because the defilements in one's mental continuum, because they are exhaustible, because you can make them extinct. So that Buddhas exist by that reason. So because there is the exhaustion of everything that which is in the nature of failings and shortcomings and mistakes, since they are all exhaustible, so you can designate that there is Buddhahood, enlightenment. Basically, the defilements within one's own mental continuum. How would you refute someone who says that there are many sentient beings, but there is a definite number of them? The Mikashege in the Tawa kasure semchen mambu yore dile yinaya konsul tanga yores
semchen tanga
yores the dinde ki semchu kine yorwa dinde semchu kine zu khandes kakwa jagure asor
semchen ki tanga sinas
chidan semchen mambu yine dile ya tangsa yores
semchen soxonden ki semchen gangala
when you say sentient beings, you mean because you see when we usually say sentient beings, we are talking about all the realms of existence.
But you
can okay. The chidan kasureta chidan semchen so is mutual. When you take into factor, beings' existence in all the 6 realms, form, formless, it's difficult to designate a number when people don't even accept some of the realms. That was my own addition, but anyway. But you can probably give a number to how many human beings exist, but generally you can't say. And it's hard to come up with a number for sentient beings. Okay? Okay. And just because defilements are exhaustible, how can it be all? How do we know? Just say it.
Just because the defilement can be exhausted through our understanding of logic, how can we actually exhaust it?
Yeah, and I was crying this got it. Say the seru yimba, seru yimba shawa ranyimbu dose. This shower and in the Mune say you were Changanzu Candas Kelung to rest. In the Timapangbe, Timaseve, the Masanget Chundanella, so Tansu Tonyo Malis. Cross crank on this way.
Like
as I explained before, with regards to objects of knowledge, to know that they exist, it doesn't mean you have to see them. You have to perceive them. Because there are many objects of knowledge, you have to realize or accept their existence on the grounds of reasoning.
아니 그 로조데 아니 가르소래 마슉추르 치니까 타르 자원에 잡아요 바디 아니 베이고네 아니 가상에 샤와나시래.
As I stated many examples before, that when atoms become very, very powerful, then whatever it opposes, whatever those antidotes oppose, become lesser and lesser and lesser, weaker and weaker and weaker, until eventually they are no more.
So
we all know that we can effect within our mind. The reason why we are not doing it is because we let ourselves stay under the control of our delusions. That's the only reason. And so you mean you want someone else to do it for you? and so and bin kashe changi de yora changi.
Changi.
Cha mongo nye changi. Kashe champang to boresa. Kashe tashe kase tune bangmo tunye rigi de yores. And din actually kashe ya sange tunye da kashe sang kase gendu ne to motumye yores ore.
다 창제도 가르래서나 창기 님이 때 마동화체 창도 받을 때는 내가 기대어 전부 얘기들하고 고고 그래.
So I mean, why for the people, who are alcoholic, the ones that are not able to give up on it is because they have yet to feel completely the shortcomings of being an alcoholic, or for temporarily. They're unable to give because they still feel that it gives them some sort of comfort at some whatever level. And so they're unable to give up on it because they have yet to fully comprehend the shortcomings of it. But even for such alcoholics, slowly as you sort of educate this person, by explaining the shortcomings of the drinking, there will come a time when you will inspire this person to get to get out of drinking. What was that? The 11 steps? No, 10 steps. And 12 steps. Because everyone's just saying, just like how in seeing the shortcomings of drinking, then slowly you are able to inspire this person to give up alcohol. In the same way for us, when we realize the shortcomings of our delusional ways or afflicted ways, and how this is the source of all our suffering in life, when we know all those steps, and then gradually this becomes the method for us to get out of how we are.
아니 뒤지왕기 샘쟁기 뒤니만이를 샘쟁 니모 라도 아니 년보 충야들아 관시 추르 다 뒤지 그 왕기 땜바집이 뒤져라 말레기 이디가라 람산 안저 뒤져디 다다지래야 말이스 땜바 다야기 땜바 만집이 뒤지래고 말이스.
And we are in a generation when the teachings of the Buddha is on the decline. So even we are in a stage where even to accept things that are afflicted as being afflicted, so more, we are up against a lot under these conditions right now. Okay,
yeah.
You okay? 단도 I don't know how to sell you other things. Huh?
He asked just like Buddhism, could Buddhism just solely established just like through the reasoning? And her question said, okay, I'm an alcoholic. Through reasoning, I know it's not good, but still cannot quit. So if you just like step by step, and through reasoning, I realize more and more how harmful it is. It doesn't guarantee you quit alcohol.
Quran this.
Another part is that Buddhist scholars have in the past used logic to refute other religions' unseen phenomena like God. They have refuted it. So, should we establish our own unseen phenomena like Buddha, also using logic? All the arguments in Uttaratantra that we come across so far seems to work within the framework of already having established a being quality.
crying disorder, that Tenji Sange Saji, Yobeta, Gumsegi Tone, that Sange Yoba Shawara. I'm cross, it's not a Sange Yoba in the Tat Kele, but she soon cherish Nayina Yanta, Sange, Chetus Beva Bezucha Jora, Macha to Chemotuchi dead war, Doris. And the Morang never says the Chidang in the Churube Lula, Chiso, the Chiso Kelly, Chiso Siaski, Kenny in the Shindagi look in the Ola, Dinzula Gaba Jeva Chetuta, Ansu Nambeta, Jumsemo, and the Mebe Jumsechi Chora. And Tanda Gula me soon did not the Sunan is among Cheta Hasre Sange Yobat and Zukelem, Shisungi Gone and Sundos.
Sange Yoba Shisun Gone.
Oh, that
Shisuma, it's good to go. Yoba Shisha and Sugamare. Sange Yoba did to go.
Rumchi said, in the Uttaratantra, it doesn't, it doesn't make a presentation on the basis that you already accept Buddha. Within the Uttaratantra, there is all the reasons as to why there is a Buddha and why there is a Buddhahood. It's not there. Basically, it's not. Uttaratantra makes no presentation or does not make any case on conclusion of there being a Buddha. And anyway, Geshe says, Buddha from the very beginning said, that you have to, teachings on the grounds of analysis alone, not because of what that it was said or taught by the Buddha.
Simji Rashi Yosawa, Simji Rashi, the Tumamashu, Lebamashu, Druete, Sanja, you be Teledogo, Tati.
There is no, there is no kind of foregone conclusion of there is a Buddhahood in Uttaratantra. The whole reason for presenting that that the nature of the mind is clear and luminous, and that the defilements can be purified. Is the whole reason as to why you can become enlightened. Good luck. There is no Ane Samjan Tamjaji, Sanjaji Kombang Goba Shep, Samjan Tamja Sanjaji Kombala, Gomba Shebagi, Ane Sanjagi, Tawa Niji Chambo, Manyaba, Nyaba de Mingawa, Manyaba Yoare, Rishichina, Ane Samjan Negap, Nilela Tony Majang, Rishichina, Ane Koala Nejundang, Yandela Tony Kiwa Jugres. So, as stated before, the third reasoning was that that all sentient beings are endowed with these two Buddha natures, and so therefore all sentient beings can be placed, can be brought to the state of Buddhahood. Why is that? Why is that so? Or why is that a possibility? Is because Buddhas, with their undegenerated, great compassion for sentient beings, then enable sentient beings to that state of Buddhahood, and to that state of Buddhahood, and sentient beings can be enabled to that state of Buddhahood because sentient beings are endowed with these two Buddha natures. It's just that temporarily, there are some sentient beings who have no interest to attain liberation or enlightenment, but temporarily, without any kind of interest to attain liberation, enlightenment, but motivated by the Buddhas, the Buddhas, undegenerated great compassion, then they will sort of enable them in a path, from abandoning, from coming to abandon samsaric existence up to attaining liberation, enlightenment.
chima jombar chepe tab sijang ane tab shevi kansa ki ane zawa nyingju chibi kunya langde ane domba cheba misibi chil sayadara ta tegi o te sijang tab shevi ane kansa re tab de shevi chima jombar ke tab shevi kansa ki zawa nyingju chibi kunya langde ane tab de domba siba gyunjan de la
so then the fourth point, fourth reasoning is that even though there may be individuals who know the method to purifying the defilements, but it is even though they know the method for purifying the defilements, then Shekyang Tabmatemba.
Tabtemba Chebagi. And it's a one you became Bukuna land, the Temba Cheba, Missy Chesana. Jinging Kasaji, the and it's a new Bukuna land, and the Temba Cheba, the Amare, Sana. I taste about Kunjari.
So, this is to refute this statement saying that even there may be individuals who know the method for purifying the defilements, but even with that knowledge and with that compassion, it is possible that they may not, impart the method to others. And so then the next is to refute that reasoning.
Oh, maybe Miripa Kare say, Semja Rangung. Twenty Jivi Sena, Ane Sanja Jumden Degi, Ane Semjan Tamjala, Nirimeba, Puchibatabi, Zawa Miam, Yamba Mingawe, Ane Chetemba Zaba Dogmari, Zaba Midorichet.
So how this would not be a possibility, how this could not possibly happen, is because as long as sentient beings, us as individuals, as long as we have the interest on our part, then the Buddhas would show the method to all sentient beings without any kind of discrimination, like the parent for like how a parent would do so for their only child. It would never be a case that the Buddhas would not engage in the activities, bestowing the Dharma, showing the Dharma to sentient beings who have the interest. So
you could probably some gentlemen at 20 years ago, you drank you can eat chocolate mato. Any Sanja Jibo, you can saw Sasana, which can't shut out Gina, and you didn't go about nothing chinsari.
So the Buddhas, on their part, how they regard sentient beings is like a parent, how they regard their only child, and that is the manner in which they regard all sentient beings, and that is how they hold sentient beings equally in that kind of manner, like a parent, how they behold their only child. So, such is the great compassion of the Buddhas, for us sentient beings. So, it would be impossible that they would not show us the Dharma teachings or give us the Dharma instructions. The only thing that would make this impossible would be if we as sentient beings had absolutely no interest, because you see, it's how we are benefited is not just contingent upon the Buddha alone. It is, it is also dependent on us, on our interest. So, therefore, we need these two causes and conditions, of not only that of the Buddhas, but our own interest as well. These two factors have to come together. Otherwise, if it was totally dependent on the Buddhas alone, then you're taking the situation of the creator, that it's, everything is dependent on that creator.
tendrawi ane jomden tabde shewi jomden deji zawa nyingji chimbe guna lande ane chinji malo ba tena rwa tenjang ane tabtela shune ane khomba cheba misibare sede o misibi chiri sedanga wade tubetela rwa ane ga misijang rishi china tajong kontu shaba nashi rishi chigi tsena ane rangi la kamrashinji namba tabak ridang ane khasore dujagu ku jirong ki same samji sabenji yoba inzang ane rikseba ki jen sangba la tene ane rikseba ri chun sade o ane khasore khombaji ane khomba yongade ta dusru klare riksane khomba juwade o sabar juwade ta denje di zandre leba trubichiro kone chetu konma sabe riksaba bu dinjai ma bu chawa imba du jebu o tu chekala
tanchi to chumden de su sawa chimbe je
tem kunala ne temba mesibi tele temba mesiba mare tengre sigrwa temba ri kunja charwa Dengire samjang ngni khemja rangung ana thenye jiwi jin an sanje bi zawala pujibala zawa nyamba meba
tishusa
ti ta tegi tan te ngawa tela ta rishik jena ko tabdena yang somden de tabdena yang ani duji ngone khomba cheba misibi chiresana
khomba cheba
misibi chena o tela ne ka ani khomba mesena tu rishik chena ani tenra yu khomba meshebi kansa tiki yula semji rangshi yu sawa tang genju ki rik dije ki ku jirung sabin de yu zang ani gen chedi kala ani sabin de ki ya sui tabche ani rik saba de ani tenji yula ma tin zandri ki ta lewa chubari.
So then the fifth statement to be refuted is that even though the Buddha Bhagavans, out of their great compassion, show the unmistaken path, but even though they do, even though they do so in this manner, but that there may be sentient beings who may not engage in these practices. Who might not meditate on the path, who might, even though unmistaken paths are Buddhas out of their great compassion teach us the unmistaken Dharma and unmistaken path, but that they may be who might not care to engage in these practices, and so to refute that is that this is impossible. Why is this impossible? It's because sentient beings, it's just temporarily they are not engaging in it, but it's a matter of time, in due course of time, before long, that they will engage in such a path. Why is that so? It's because all sentient beings have the element, the Buddha nature, the naturally abiding Buddha nature, and then the potential for the Buddha's compounded holy body, the Rupakaya, because of having this uncontaminated, the seed for the Buddha's uncontaminated mind. So given that we have all the causes and conditions complete, so we have all the possibility for the awakening of this lineage, and so it's a matter of time before sentient beings, do engage in the practice or the meditation of such a path. So these are all the reasons as to why going to be definitely the awakening of the lineage in one.
Oh, then that riba theta ki ta xian ga ne, ro ta xian ane da ga ne, ane semjian tamjia ta ana ba yang da ba zuo san jie ji kong ba ta du ba jian yin ba, chang jia wa, o sang jie wa si ba, o da du shi ya zhu ba de.
So all of these are kind of extreme reasonings that were presented up until now has been all refuted. And having refuted all these extreme forms of reasonings, then what has been established is that sentient beings will eventually, ultimately, then attain the unsurpassable, perfect, and complete state of enlightenment. They are endowed with the attainment of that Buddhahood. That they will become Buddha, that they will become Buddha's sentiments. That this is a complete possibility.
我经常身边他们讲上街吧嘛的，上街吧的，身边他们讲上街吧是吧的，那身边人呢，让你上街比，那上街就越过的，是吧？你这身边人呢，马上做一那样，那让你上街比上街爬爬的，看上一个接送给态度，给直接态度的嘞，是吧？直接态度，这有接态度的，哦，这让你了出容印章，是吧？ 让你上街比上街爬爬，上街越的，是吧？这直接态度钱，
And so therefore we say, that all sentient beings can become enlightened. This enlightenment is a possibility, but sentient beings are enlightened, So, but there is a Buddha which is your own future resultant Buddhahood. This is your future resultant ultimate attainment, because there is a Buddha which is your Buddhahood, and as explained in the early part of the the Uttaratantra, we talked about the resultant refuge. This resultant refuge, then what it establishes is that it establishes one's own possibility for enlightenment. So there is an Arya Buddha who is of your enlightenment. But does this Arya Buddha exist now? That doesn't exist right now.
Oh yeah. 我以前把它写过了，他在让你，你看是青蛙宫殿去看啥？那青蛙宫殿去看啥？这个，你科学人民通，特别攀援通呢，你呀，这个人吧，现在晒一干了，你看说的，咱们就来接你，等你人吧，现在看说的。 让这个什么人把心都散，你不人把心都把解的，他人，让这个什么是他大塞比塞把出的站吧，让你上街比上街爬爬就出来的，是吧？
So this way one has to be able to differentiate between these two. Right now, one is an individual who is bound with a whole lot of, full of bondage. But in due course of time, then as we come to see the failings and shortcomings of our own samsaric existence and come to see the benefits and the advantages of what is liberation, enlightenment, then it will enable us, all this will enable us to bring forth the ripening of our own lineage. And when this becomes possible, then the path to liberation, enlightenment will be generated within our mind stream, which then enables the purification of all of our defilements within our mind. So, all of this happens sequentially. As the antidotes get developed within our mind, then defilements, respectively, then becomes lesser and lesser until eventually they become totally extinct, totally exhausted, and so then one becomes a Buddha. So at the end of which, then one becomes a Buddha. So there is an Arya Buddha who is the Buddha who is there is an Arya Buddha who can be designated as the Buddha of your enlightenment.
Oh yeah, well that is it. That has been Shuan Nasi Jenny, Taran Shuan Nasi, Kuala, and Yang Kwa Chizamla Chindame, Kwa Cherabala Chindaye, Chiri Kwa Sanga the Chandikala, and you talk Kwa with some Jatamja Sabajikoguarwa. Te Samu Sabajomuduwa, Kwa Chizamla Chindameba. Semjara Rangi and its Federal Jana Chinda Yoba. So the
other statement to say that there is no general end to samsara, but there is an end to samsara with respect to individual sentient beings, So such a statement is also not correct. So why is this statement, not correct? It's because if it is possible for an individual sentient being to exhaust their defilements, to bring forth the extinction of their defilements, then it should be the same for all sentient beings. So therefore, if you designate there is an end to samsaric existence for individual sentient beings, then it has the same should apply for all sentient beings. That all sentient beings should see the end of their cyclic existence. So therefore, to sort of designate end of samsara for individuals and no end of samsara in general is a wrong statement.
Oh yeah, that is what the subject to carry, but the Chinda Meba song at the Taranshua Nasi Chenny. That there soon to Gala, Chinda Meba song with Tanda Carres and Netajun Shabachiwa, there's been that. The Semjan Kashi to Dizamne Tabatola, Te Panjadu and Tabatoba, the Panjadu and Chinjadu Mijungo Shiva, Tindiki Tui or Tui Tindiki and Taiwan Mares and Telecom Baramade, Tameba Comba Mares.
Well, this morning, when we talked about that there is no end to samsaric existence, in the context in which this was said or stated is that is because of the reasoning of that within given this period of time, then there is end of samsara, and beyond that period of time, then there is no end of samsara. Under those gengi and just two diwale and chita.
It did to change it, depends on any Yamares egg, Tindiki to Tayamares. The Tabato days.
Tugicha.
The Chinja do Tabato. 편제도 안에 토바죠 요 말이세. 근데 타요 말이세. 타요 말이세.
Oh, sorry. This statement to say that there is no end to samsara is made. This statement is made in the context of saying that you cannot make a statement like that, applying the reasoning that within this period, then there is the end of samsara. And beyond the spirit, there is no end to some. On the grounds of such statement, you cannot say that there is no end to samsara. Do you understand? 다른 쇼게 치타 매수야 줘라. 코에 치타 매수야 줘라.
진짜 이것이 진짜 매수는 말이야. 근데 진짜 매순간에 그 가르를 했으나 단다 다른 소강에 중어도 단다 니 진짜 뒤뒤zam나 타바토라 뒤뒤zam나 타바토 그 말했어야 그 진짜 샤요와 말했어.
알레. On the grounds of a statement like within this period you can attain liberation. Beyond this period you cannot attain liberation. On the grounds of on the basis of such statement, then taking those on the grounds of such statements, then you say that there is no end to samsara.
다른게 두시와라 샘제기 장 디점지 요와리 디점지 세바나 아니 코에 친다 통화를 그 타요와 말이스 타세에다가 장 만윤집이 시지고 그래서 만윤집이 시집에는 루다고지 여이나 다 드니 레레레레레서 풍보디 제디가나 아는 루이 풍보디 세베타 중고로 와 어때나시지를 샘젠라야 장 만윤집이 시기 장지 시지체니 아니 드니 레레레레레 뒤가나 아니 샘제 그 타세에다 다 대요 말이스
된대기 타대요
타죠 어디 매순한테 뒤매레스 탐유가자 말이스 장자기 소치산에 만윤집
so it's saying that there is no end to samsara under conditions. You cannot say, like this morning saying that like if you put a heap of grains and as you take each grain out, then you have the end of the grain of this lot. So when anyway, the basic thing is that you cannot say that there is no end to samsara under conditions of time or like that. 단다 코에 치다 매와 단다 매수야
진짜 요아레스 이와 사랑을 지원 봐 단다 뒤를 바꿔서야 단다 사랑 그 쉬어야 돼 가라 코에 친다 매세라 매와데 난게 태도 주비 난게 태도 주와 진짜 말씀제 말을 탕 디신데 세가라 난가라 탐에 바신도 안에 sem제라야 탐이 타요아 말에서로 오 텐다와데 단다 디세가나 다중 다른 쇼가시가나 장시지에게 저와 만윤제와 그 시지체 아니 드네레레레세네 아니 시대 조지 잠봤으면 여기 타세세 드네요 말이스 라 다디다 지 두 충보제나 두레레레 드네기 타요 말이스 sem제기
라 단이 sem제 간데
sem제 그 타마면서 sem제람 sem제 그 장지 집이 시지체 두 풍부 나시 드네레레레 세디 간에 두 풍부 세기로와 안에 두 풍부 세베 타통하러 왜 sem제인데 만유 집이 시제 드네레레레 세디 간에 타지 드네 요아를 왜서나 요 말이스 아니 코에 친다 sem제 그 타요 알아서 타 가르레에서나 란주기 치마 세비스 야바 톱지 잠바 안에 타토와네 타지
So this morning when we use the example of from the King of Prayers dedication, when we talk about just as how space is limitless, then sentient beings are also limitless like that. when we talk about the limitless samsaric existence, in the sense that there's no end to samsaric existence, that's not the same thing. It's not the same example. Because the
Tumasaba Izang, and it's Tayoares. Some young Tumasaba Idikala, Tumasaru, and some young Tayoares.
Generally, we have to accept that there is end to samsaric existence because there is the extinction of defilements, there is the exhaustion of defilements. But when we say that that there is no end or limit to samsara, it is in the context of conditions, in the context of like time and in the context of time frame, or in the context of given numbers. Say, like the example used, like the heap of grains. When you take each grain out individually, eventually it's the end of that heap. Sure, go ahead. Yeah. There is. Yeah, in general, there is end to samsara because you have because of the extinction of afflictions.
With respect to
他写的你读啊，他们他当，他们他是来帮啊，他们他要嘛的是，他们他要的是，他们他写的可能是呢，你说的，大家上边去学完那些以前的，快听得通，甚至，人家让个什么设备设，什么设备设把甚至他们这出版要把印章，他们他，什么设备呢？快他们。
So, like samsara or sentient beings, you have the of the two ends, one end is beginningless. The other end, there is an end to that, because when the defilements of the sentient beings are totally exhausted or become extinct, then that is the end of that sentient being, or end of that particular sentient being cyclic existence.
Toma tambo ki taranga shuwa iba. Tambo ki samjen ki yuarwa. Da tambo samjen dinde ji chunga re segi. Ani kasa re tambo ji taji na. Ani tambo toma ji diyo. Di panjane yuwa tambo samjen dinde chunga se shago re. Dinde samjen de duje yinzang rangi ani nyeleng ki gyudang henchi shejane dana jiyago re.
So the reason why... As stated this morning, why you have to say sentient beings or samsara is beginningless. It's because if you say if you designate a beginning point to samsaric existence or to sentient beings' existence, then if you say, this is when sentient beings began, then you would have to bring together the causes and conditions that produce that sentient being. And so, that beginning of that sentient being or that beginning of that samsaric existence cannot happen without causes and conditions. It has to have its own substantial causes as well as its cooperative conditions. So you have to come up with those.
Thomas Semjantegi, Gujaji Yusana, and Yelin de la Ripag Ripsheves, Niman Yelena, Shewa Ripachiman Shayamari, Ripati Gula Tengaji Semjan Shakodwa. They that Semja Toma Tambo, Semjantela, and Semjanji Tokudwa.
And so, no matter at which point you designate a sentient being that started it all, you have to still give it a cause and condition. And the primary or the substantial cause for that sentient being has to be the continuum of the mind. And for that, it has to be its own prior continuum. Other than that, you cannot, you cannot give it anything else, because, the cause for the mind has to be the mind. So in stating it this way, then, you cannot point to a beginning, so it's beginningless. So, if we are going to sort of designate a sentient being who's the first starting point, and if you say that it began without, if you cannot give it the causes the way we give it, then you have to say it arose without causes and conditions. So, like the example of a grain of barley, when we ask, when was the beginning point of this barley grain? You cannot say when the beginning point of that barley grain began. And so in that way, it's the same that there is no beginning to sentient being. There is no point of beginning for sentient beings. It's beginningless.
Mela 60 and you can't do chima jegi, Nanu Sabenge, Nanu chima jegi, never de jom de dena, and it's Sabenge chita tongarwa.
And then when you burn those grains, once you burn those grains, then the potential for this grain to germinate is cut off. So that grain has seen its end.
Malang de semjengi sajen yo limbi pungbo te nimbi rwa nyelengi pungbo te dang ane nyomba de siji driwa tatanje nimbi jomdi zamba ane kowe chita de tongare rwa sajen nyili pungbo de sedi zamba ane sajen nyili pungbo chima liya yo amare ane kowe chita tongare.
So just like the burnt grain, then when we are able to get rid of the contaminated appropriated eggs and get rid of the two types of obscurations through the means of the application of the antidotes, then one has seen the end of one's own samsaric existence. So therefore we say that in seeing selflessness, then we see the end. So, what is the root of our samsaric existence is this ignorance, grasping at the self. And what is the root to this ignorance, which is the root of samsaric existence, is the wisdom directly realizing selflessness. And when we, when we meditate on this, habituate ourselves to this, and when this gets developed, enhanced, then the ignorance, grasping at the self, becomes lesser and lesser and lesser, until eventually it becomes totally extinct. Like the example that I used earlier, when we are very cold, and then when we come into a place that is warm, then the warmth of that place then gradually diminishes the cold that we are feeling. In the same way, then as we become empowered by the antidote of the direct realization of selflessness, then it gradually diminishes that root of samsaric existence.
Oh yeah, that you got to say, that never so at the any change city shita which tenderly any city said to Zamba, any castle tazoba, intended tap Myanmaris, change city you could she could Marva, and the dealers on the gala, then the castle, then the thing. So they, that you gonna treat this on that tabat dollar. Panjadu and the Taba community, the Tuji touch, Giant Meva in Zang, and the Tame Sumbare Mato, Tameba Maris.
So it is on these grounds that we say that there is an end to samsaric existence. So when you hear any sort of presentation which says that there is no end to samsaric existence, it is on the basis of, you cannot say there is no end to samsaric existence on the grounds of, time frames or on the grounds of numbers.
Or some general tongue did some Jew, what a tongue did some G, and then some jet task and take a tie on my race. You don't want to share to sugar.
So the example, like I'm just saying that you cannot say that when this number of when this number of sentient beings is finished, then that is the end of the samsara existence, or given within. Wait on, let me try again. And basically, it's saying that the way they say that there is no end to samsaric existence, when the view that people hold that there is no end to samsaric existence, is saying that there is no end to samsaric existence with regard to expressions like given a certain period of time, then people getting liberated, and after this, not again. Under those conditions, then you cannot say that there is no samsaric end, no end to samsara. Conditions. Basically they're saying that what is the reason that they're giving for there is no end to samsaric existence? There is no such end to samsaric existence. So anyway, if someone made a statement saying that if 1 million sentient beings got liberated, then that's the end of samsara existence. So there is, there is no such thing like that. So there, no such thing like that. So it's saying that, there is no end to samsara in that kind of context. Do you get it? Or there is no end to samsara in the context of saying within this period liberated, you're liberated, and after that you're not liberated. Under those conditions, that also you cannot say that there is end to samsara. So in other words, it's saying that those who accept the view that there is no end to samsaric existence, it is with regards to numbers and conditions, like of time, number and time, like that. It's a little sort of convoluted, but anyway. But in meaning, it means the same. In meaning, it means the same. Those who say that there is an end to samsara and there is no end to samsara, in either way, in meaning, they mean the same, because the other way is kind of weird meaning to say there is no end to samsara. When you have statements saying that there is no end to samsaric existence, it is in those, under those provisions. Okay. So, if you read Tibetan, so if you read Tibetan and then if you read Lama Tsongkhapa's composition writing on what is known as Lekshya Sergi Tenwa, the golden rosary of excellent sayings. If you read that, within that, there's a whole lot of debate with regards to whether there is end to samsara or not. So, one reasoning to say that there is no end to samsaric existence, they quote the King of Prayer's dedication, just like how space is limited, sentient beings are also. So they use that as the quotation for establishing there is no end to samsaric existence. So then what was just explained right now is that it's not a case that there is no end to samsaric existence. There is no end to samsaric existence. The reason why they're saying like that is under those conditions, on given periods of time or given certain number, to say that one. So, just as how sentient beings have been existing since beginningless time, the defilements in the mind stream of sentient beings have also been existing since beginningless times. These, these adventitious defilements of sentient beings, then existing since beginningless time. So even though sentient beings have these, adventitious defilements, but sentient beings' nature, their nature of the mind is not contaminated by these defilements. So, but those contaminations do not exist in the nature of the mind, and so so until samsaric existence is known, then sentient beings remain with those adventitious defilements, with those defiled states of the mind. So until the end of samsara, then sentient beings remain with those defilements, remain with those, adventitious defilements, but those defilements do not exist in the nature of the mind. This mind exists until the end of samsaric existence. Since the continuum of the mind remains until the end of samsaric existence, it is with permanence, but it is not permanent. In the same way, the suchness of our mind, which is the natural purity of the mind, this essence of our Tathagata Garbha, because it is covered with the defilements, totally enveloped with the defilements, so one is unable to see it. To illustrate this, then, is the example of like the gold which is covered with it. So until these defilements are removed or purified, then it remains contained. The mind, the Tathagata Garbha remains covered, enveloped by the adventitious defilements. So until it is purified, then it remains covered by the temporary defilements. So of the 10 points, then we've completed the 4th point of function. You have the nature, cause, result, and function. So
다 댐비 쳐봐 세더라.
So the next fifth point is,
오주전에 세더라. 다 유연된 댐바, 유연된 댐바당, 대유연된 댐바.
so endowed. So fifth point is endowed with the qualities of all the causes, endowed with all the qualities of the result.
다 유연된 댐바, 대유연된 댐바 이유에 나네. 다 간들에서나 자주 전부 신도 심전라양 아니 류예비 차네. 유연된 빠도 매봐. 류예비 차네. 아니 유연된 빠도 매봐. 아니 가서 연대 린지 미세빈에 수셔 차고 사 간데 류예비 차네. 아니 유연된 단 예승과래.
So because sentient just like the ocean, just like the ocean, then because sentient beings have the Buddha lineage in them, say that they are endowed with immeasurable qualities of causes.
간들에서나 자수치신 밤에배 연대人间 미세네.因为 연대 다대배 5니지 마음이신 세대오 되기 되게 간데 샤바래 자와 되기. 와. 야존이 림보체라서위 내당. 와. 림보체당. 아니 추남 초바인 바다. 야존이 생각이 림보체 내당. 아니 림보 추남 초바인 바다. 추초바인 바나신.
So, like the great ocean, it holds qualities immeasurable, precious, and inexhaustible. Just like in the great, just like the great oceans that have, precious gems, precious things in them, and have the water.
semjengi yuki kam dashi yingbo 태양 안에 자수 첨부 자수 첨부다고 연대시 내래 와
자수 첨부다고
자수 첨부다고 연대시 내래
연대시 내래. So in the same way, then the Tathagata Garbha of the sentient beings, like the ocean, then is endowed with these four qualities.
난 유연된 세대 가상에가 여기 알아서 여기 또 공원라 시아바기 유연된 주시 유연다 다가라리 최면합이 시아라부터 등생인들 내중화 세기
the qualities of the causes is like this is the same causes that we talked about before, the devotion to the Mahayana Dharma, the wisdom, the samadhi, and compassion. So the devotion or the aspiration towards the Mahayana Dharma is like the vessel, the container.
아니 사무동반이 또 비시라당 등에 된용고 아니 림보치다고.
And the wisdom, realizing profound emptiness and states of absorption are like the jewels.
사비 시라당 등등 세대 나신천이 기타 대두인 말이야.
림보치. And Nyingje.
난 인제니 추다고.
And the compassion is like the water. So sort of presenting the Buddha nature or the Buddha element by illustrating through the illustration of all the qualities of the causes.
예매연장 담미정 원이지 만미신 세들이 나 바제테 대비연자지 되고 있어요.
And then the last two lines of that particular stanza, its essence holds indivisible properties, thus the element is similar to a lamp. So these two lines show the qualities of the result.
我也没把原点的代表我年纪7是一个呢，让星期动吧，让星期那把他把当我也没把原点的代表年纪7，还没信度。
So its essence holds indivisible properties, indivisibility of the the natural purity and emptiness, indivisibility of that.
满没信度是这个啦，俺的主就我些，他那用我些，现什么些用我。
And thus the element is similar to a lamp, similar to a lamp in the context of the 5 types of clairvoyances. The clairvoyance of miraculous powers, the clairvoyance of knowing others' minds. The clairvoyance of knowing previous lives. Knowing death and knowing birth and death. The clairvoyance of the extinction of everything contaminated, extinction of contamination, the clairvoyance of the extinction of contamination. And the next one is having the knowledge of the exhaustion of contamination, and the one that I forgot is the possessing the divine ear, ear of the gods. These the yundin dumbo di karsungwa worship.
Come to us, Marta.
Come, John Jiggy.
Or come, John Jiggy. Mewala so we come Jambala Dene. Come with Tama Jambala, Mewatang. And it's so come John Jiggy. Tapsitaki, come Jambala Dene, Devi and then. And it out, Caso to do you mercy, so this Saba Pages. And then do you and then do what's that number? By being able to purify the element through the through the causes of like devotion to the Maya and so forth, through these methods, when one is able to purify the element, then the result, the qualities of the result attained are like these 5 clairvoyances up to that transcendental exalted wisdom, knowing that one has totally exhausted all contamination. This is just briefly introducing the stanza, and then to go through the commentary. Then it's the commentary says what purifies chugunamba tache. The causes that bring forth the purification of the Dhammakaya. So what are the causes that bring forth the purified state of the Dhammakaya
like as is stated before, the devotion to the minor dharma, which is like the vessel. And then the unique Mayana qualities of calm abiding and special insight. So because these Mayana special abiding and special insight are the causes that generate the result of the conqueror's exalted knower, meaning omniscient mind. So they are like the jewels that produce it. So you have the vessel and the jewels that bring forth the Buddha in the enlightened mind.
Tishibi and Tuji Chimbo Jubidu. Tishibi Tuji Chimbo de Ane Randan Juji to Jubi, Chanju Samba Tegi, Zawani Chimbo, Kwambala Dana, Tara Chanju Sabini, Zawani Chimbo de, and Tishibi Tuji Chimbo, Wardrowa Yinzang Tuji Jubidu Yimbane, Chudan Chesumba.
And the Bodhisattva's great compassion then is what eventually transforms into the Tathagatas, great compassion. The great compassion of the Bodhisattvas, because it is transformed into the Buddha's great compassion, then it's like the water. So these four qualities, these qualities of devotion, aspiration to the Mayana Dharma, then the wisdom and the concentration and the great compassion are designated as the qualities of the causes, as illustrated by the examples of the ocean, the jewels, and the water. So they are regarded as the causes that bring forth the purified state of one's Dharmakaya. Why are they stated as the causes? Beginning with the aspiration or the devotion to the Mayana Dharma, is because even if one is without that kind of, if one has that devotion to the Mayana Dharma, then no way to generate the Mayana qualities of calm abiding, special insight, or the great compassion without that initial aspiration or devotion to the Mayana. To attain the non-abiding nirvana. What is the non-abiding nirvana? Is the cessation of the extreme of samsara and nirvana, liberation. what seizes samsara is the wisdom realizing emptiness. What seizes the nirvana's peace is the great compassion. Without these, then there's no way to attain the non-abiding nirvana.
Then, Simjanji come join with Chedu, Tuji Chebo Jubidu, Tachishuana Chenchen, Sanjaji, and Chode, and a Chaju Sembaki Tuji Inji Jun Combe, and it's a one Inji Chebo, Kaso, Simjan Tamjela, and the one Inji Juba Inzang, Samja Tamja can't join with you to Tuji Chembo Jubidu.
So, to purify the nature or the element of sentient beings, then what enables that is compassion. The great loving compassion. What engages the purifying. What engages the purifying of things else. So the aspiration to aspiring towards Maya Dharma is like the vessel in order to hold, or in order to contain, or in order to establish the state of Buddhahood. And so what by its nature is able to bestow these immeasurable qualities is inexhaustible wisdom and meditative states of concentration. By their very nature, then, is what bestows upon us, is what bestows these limitless qualities.
Then 자주 선배 인제 공부하되 추tum바데 신세와라 마대바 당신 이제 되니 좋아 탐제 동화당 동화라 찬되지 되니지 초도 이게 아니 렘베 가서 렘베 라신지 로지 받아 땜바
the Buddhists have contemplation on the contemplation of the compassion due to being conditioned to this, or due to on this. Then compassion which compared to like the water, just like which is moist and sherwa and runs, moist and running, like that. That's in the same way. Then it is the great compassion that seeks out all the activities benefiting sentient beings. That it is a great compassion that generates the interest to seek out all the activities benefiting sentient beings.
대나 추구당 야외 이시당 투지 순보대 추구대 컴남바 다지고 요체 명화라서 와 아니 야외 이시 아니 이시대 다 단대 가서래 톱지기 주 세대 이시대 다지 또문이도 셰랍당 등의진데 아니 야외 이시 톱지기 주상 So the you can say 추구대 컴남바 타베 규레스 추구당 야외 이시당 투지 순보 대다 대 추구당 야외 이시당 투지 순보 대다 다 된다 매와라 소와게 매와라 소와 다지기 주당 된다 돈이 되면 셰라당 땡을 되지 고대 야외 이시 톱지 그 주당 라 전부대 안에 가서 투지 안에 투지 주비죠 다 여기 몇소 시고대 안에 마자디 가나 추제 주당 아니 대위시 톱지 주당这玩意就全部就这拉马对象完了什么的
So, you know, the Dharmakaya is the core of the purification, purification of the Buddha nature, the element, and the exalted knower of the conquerors is to be, is the cause. Is the cause for the attainment, and the great compassion is the cause for the engagement. Is the cause for the engagement. So, tanda mewati karsumage. Mewati chuku.
Chuku topji ki judang.
So therefore we would say that aspiration or devotion.
mewale takje ki juche. 돈이 더 비싸다 되니 톱지 주체 아니 년제데 저완이 투지 주체교 투지 주비죠
so we will say that aspiration or devotion the mind dharma is what causes us to purify, and wisdom realizing emptiness and meditation of concentration are the causes for attaining the exalted knower of the conqueror in the omniscient mind of Buddhas. Great compassion is the cause to engage. So we stop here.
So,